there are still many economic and social challenges ahead.
So Juan, Latin America has a number of different trade blocs. So taking a look at the Pacific Alliance, which accounts for around 35% of the nation's GDP, why is it so appealing?
Well, there are many different factors that may help to understand the momentum that is gaining the Pacific Alliance. And first, perhaps, it is the fact that there is a message of bringing Latin America back to the map. So having the bloc of countries, which actually are the countries that are having the highest economic growth rates of the region, well, that may help to understand the enthusiasm of investors and of people interested in doing business in Latin America.
So Latin America's trade hasn't been as dynamic as most of the regions would have liked, and there's been a deal pending with the EU and the Mercosur. So is this deal, what is it set to bring to Latin America?
Well, perhaps historically, what we've seen is that there are moments where there were attempts to integrate the region more and more. I mean, most of the international trade of the region has been done actually with other regions and not really intra-regional trade, which may explain why perhaps there are some reticencies about where is this trade agreement going to take us. But the fact is that there have been lots of macroeconomic policies, recent reforms, and actually the will by many policymakers in order to bring these trade agreements into a good port.
And Chile, Peru, Colombia, and Mexico all rank within the top 60 from the World Bank of countries that are at ease of doing business. So does this set the standard for the rest of Latin America, do you think?
Well, there are two different groups, we may think, so two different economic realities. On the one hand, we have perhaps Mercosur countries who have actually struggled in the last couple of years, whereas what we have within Peru and Chile and Mexico are the countries that are having, as I said, the highest rates of economic growth. That said, it does not mean that there are still many economic and social challenges ahead. So economic inequality is very high, informality, there is a need also to improve infrastructure. There is a need in general to have a consensus of the population, a popular support to bring forward this kind of policies. Once they are there, these trade agreements will actually mean or be translated into higher rates of economic growth.
So will we start to see more of a parity in regards to the Pacific Alliance and the Mercosur, the different regions? Will there start to be more of an equality in regards to trade agreements?
Well, Mercosur countries, for instance Argentina and more Brazil, are trying to get closer into these countries also because, as I said, regional integration would also mean that there is a will of the region in order to get closer to other regions, like for instance the European Union or the United States. I mean, there is a huge potential, and the fact that Mercosur actually failed in many regards would mean that there are other strategies that may be experienced in the next years.
So your outlook for the next year is that of optimism?
It would depend. I mean, there is the political will, there are the reforms that will have still to be pursued, but in general terms, if they manage to bring or to have back this popular support, I would say that there is an optimism that may be bought.
Well, Juan, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your insights.
Thank you very much.
That's all for myself and Juan, but for all the latest market moves, do keep clicking back to Dugoscopy TV.